Welcome back to Bergisch land. I think that's how you say it. So we've got the Bergman manure spreader on the back of the Deutz because we're going to be spreading some manure today. I have a feeling we've got a couple of days of trying to fertilise the fields ahead of us with manure and slurry and hopefully digestate. So I haven't managed to find a slurry or manure buy point on this map. Reach? Not really. We could really do with the 7 series on that, I think, the 724. Which is just across the way, so we'll go and grab that. And just drop the bucket off the front. The grass silage is not quite ready yet to go into the BGA. So we're still waiting on that to ferment. I had this hooked up to the bigger Bergisch trailer that we have to run to the store to buy more manure, because I think we've probably got about 50,000 litres, which is enough for 2 spreader loads, maybe a bit more than that, which is not going to be enough to fertilise the fields that we have to fertilise. We're very, very close to calves, possibly today, which is really cool. Should be good without the weight on the back of this. But this barely reaches as well. Right, it doesn't reach. We really need to get that telehandler. It's definitely a purchase we need to make. I'm also looking at the JCB tele truck that was released recently to have over at the sawmill, because we've had to take the Fendt over there this morning already to move the boards, the planks over into the pallet factory, because that had all got stuck up and stopped. I don't think we're going to spill the spreader off this pile. Yeah, so I think realistically we've got a couple of days of manure and slurry, as I said, and lime spreading. Have 4 fields I want to get planted before the end of autumn, so I'm focusing on getting those sorted. And once we've got those done, we will probably slowly progress through winter, working on the other fields as we can, as the weather and temps allow. I think, no, I didn't correct myself in the commentary later on. So last video I tried out the grassland subsoiler and it seemed like it wasn't working. It actually was. The change was just so subtle that I didn't notice it. Actually, I did cover it because I just recorded the commentary for it and now I remember saying it. So we're going to run that over all of our grass fields. That will boost the nitrogen a little bit, and in the real world would kind of lift the swath up and just improve the quality of the field. And then we can get some more organic fertilizer on it, which will then obviously boost it right up to the kind of levels that we want. It may take us a few rounds to actually get that fertilizer level up, I think. Obviously, it's quite unusual for me to be loading a manure spreader with a bucket. Normally I would use a conveyor, but I use a conveyor on everything to do this kind of job, and I thought I would do it manually. It looks like we're getting reasonably full. I've never used this manure spreader before, so it's hard to tell when it's getting full. But yeah, once we have used our own supply of manure up, I was going to put all the manure in the VGA, but we've got that load of grass silage to go in the VGA. I also need to get a bit more nitrogen on the canola field we fertilised last time, because I'm about 40 units short on that. Once we've used up all of our own supply of manure, I'm going to buy pallets of it from the store, which is why I had this queued up on the trailer. We'll bring them over to farm, tip them on one of the fields that's going to be dormant over the winter. I wonder whether I should put cover crop in them. We should put some OSR in or something to see if we can get some nitrogen off that. That is definitely something I need to have a quick think about. What's the planting wise? We've got the same sort of couple of days to get that in. Obviously we won't worry about the lime or anything because that's purely just to act as a cover crop. How is the woods looking? I'm going to call that full enough. But we need to head over to field 41, which is down this way. We need to put some fuel in the lights. I'm going to cut across here. This field needs some work as well. It's actually a small field which I forgot to scan. But it needs ploughing and things, so it doesn't matter if we drive over it. The grass is not going to be harvested this year. So I'm pretty sure this field is on 0 nitrogen. Yep. We're going to run it manually because I want to try and bump this all the way up to about 100 units because that's what we need. So time lapse time, I think, because this is going to take a while. So you'll get to speak to future me in a second. It's so good to get into some field work on this map. So this field is going to be oats next year, so we're pretty much getting the nitrogen where we need it completely with this manure spreading, which is really good because we're not doing any solid or liquid fertilizer on here because we're doing organic farming. But my googling has said that there are organic solid fertilizers around, so at the moment I'm going to stick with my plan for using manure and digestate and slurry. The pile of manure that we loaded up was just from me clearing out the feed area, which the cows spawn manure in the feed area, which I think is really cool. So that's from that. This is the first time I've mucked out the cow shed. We're going to get about two spreaders full off of there. So I think it takes about that to do this field. Maybe, yeah, just about that. And then this field is going to need a line and then it will be good to go. I want to get those oats in before winter hits, I think. You will have seen from the thumbnail that we did get around to planting one of our fields, and the nice thing about this episode is I get to visit some of the fields that I own but I haven't been to yet, which is really quite cool. Into field 53, this is going to be rye and this needs a lot of nitrogen. This needs at least 170 units. 170 kilograms per hectare, so we're going to have to do slurry on here and maybe some more. I've added in Proceed, which you'll see me use later on, to put tram lines in because I'm thinking that what I might have to do is get a dribble bar for the slurry spreader to do some more fertilizing once we've got crops in the ground, but when they're still at the seedling stage. I think putting digestate or slurry on them at that point with a dribble bar should be okay. Interested to know any real world farmers that have any experience of that. So we've used all our manure, so having to buy some pallets of manure up at the shop, so I brought the 724 up with the rice trailer on the back. We're also going to buy the JCB telehandler while we are up here, so we'll just get this trailer filled up first. I end up speeding up the fill time on these pallets because it's annoyingly slow. So yeah, JCB telehandler, something we definitely need, something I've wanted to use for a long time but haven't really done it. So, and I'm going to buy the Biobelt bucket for loading the manure. We need to come back up and get a load of tools for this at some point, but for now the Biobelt bucket is what we need. So the plan is to run the 724 backwards and forwards to the store to pick up the manure and then dump it in one of our fields to load up into the muck spreader, which I think I said earlier. So we'll stick the Fendt on follow me to get back to the farm. We'll get the muck spreader loaded up again. Do a little bit of work with auto drive here, just setting up a little course so that we can get auto drive to run back to the field. I thought I could get it to dump in the field, but it doesn't seem like I can. I might be mistaking that for courseplay from a video that I've watched before. So I've got the loop set up anyway, so my plan is, and what I actually do is use auto drive to run to the shop. I then manually fill the trailer up from the pallets at the shop, and then use auto drive to run it back and manually tip in the field. We don't need that many loads in the end, it turns out, which is quite good. So I'm only worrying about fertilising the 4 fields that we have that we're going to be planting crops in for the winter. So we'll take the Deutz over, get the rest of the muck spreader filled up. We shouldn't take too many buckets with this 8,000 litre bucket. It's a very heavy bucket though, and a little bit careful driving to avoid tipping. Did I mention I really like playing on this map a lot? Have I said that? So I had a look, and so I said that I wanted to do compost on here, but this map doesn't have compost built in. I thought about adding it in, but then I thought there's the compost mod, which adds compost to every map. So I'm going to have a look and see how that interacts with Maize Plus. They both have the same fill type, so I'm going to have a test of that sort of off the camera and see if that works or not. So this is field 11, which is a field we've not been to yet. I actually had to work out how to get here. This is going to be planted with poplars to get us more wood chip. There's another way of doing wood chip, I think I've said that. So this needs quite a bit of nitrogen as well. So we're getting through the manure fairly quickly, but we're really close to the shop. So I thought I'll just head back to the store and refill from the pallets we've got in the parking lot still, in the car park. However, the muck spreader won't fill from those, so I'm just going to go and grab the JCB and we will fill it that way. It did at least save us a trip back to the field. I really like the way the suspension feels the weight on the JCB. It's quite cool as the bucket fills up. I suspect we're not supposed to use the BioBelts bucket for manure. It's probably a bit heavy, but it will be great for clearing the silage bunker out, which is almost ready. Probably either end of this game day or next game day we will be putting that into the BGA and getting our digestate. The pallet thing up at the sawmill is full, but I'm going to have to ignore that for now. I do need to get a vehicle up there to handle that, and that's where I'm talking about getting the JCB telly truck for. I think that would be perfect up at the sawmill to keep those cleared out and then load up our trailers as we go up there. Into field 39, this is going to be canola. We've already spread slurry in here, but we're not up to the fertilisation levels that we need. So I'm adding a bit more. I think I'm adding about 20 or 40 units of nitrogen to get us up to about 140. Back in the field 53, which is going to be rye, as I've said, and adding more nitrogen, trying to get up to that really high levels that rye is going to need. I suspect we're going to need more, and we don't actually have enough slurry to cover this field. So we get part way around, and then I pause this because we're going to have to wait for the cows to produce some more slurry for us. A farmer that's used all his slurry, that's pretty rare, I think. We have a small herd, so yeah. We'll get done what we can, and then we're going to get into some seeding. But in fact, I think that's us done. I think we've got about 2,000 litres left in the slurry pit. Yeah. So I'm using these big bags of seed from the Realistic Seed mod. So we're going to put some canola in the Novag and get that in the ground. The nice thing about it is with the update to this mod, it unloads to those seed bags as well. So I've got Pro Seed on. Because I don't have guidance steering, I'm running it on semi-automatic mode, and that means each time you raise and lower the seeder, it increments a track. So you can see at the moment I've got it set to, we've got a 6 meter seeder, I've got it set to 18 meter, brain fade. 18 meter row crop rows. Sorry, my brain has just completely gone blank. So every time we raise and lower, we get the. I've completely forgotten. Yeah, we get the rows in the crop. I don't know what's happened to my brain. And the reason I'm doing these, and the reason that we've gone for 18 meters works, is I'm looking at getting an 18 meter dribble bar to put on the back of the slurry spreader so that we can fertilise the fields once the crop is in the ground without destroying crop. So annoyed that I can't remember that word. In fact, I'm going to put it on the screen because I'm going to go and look it up as soon as I finish recording. It's a pain in the arse to stop recording the voiceover as we go. But you'll see I jump up the tractor a couple of times, and this field needs quite a lot of fertilisation still. So it's definitely worth having the things in the field. It's really bugging me that I can't remember it. I was curious and ignoring that I've forgotten the word. In fact, we're pretty much done with this video, so we'll pick it up next time. I was going to say something about Clarkson's farm, but we'll get to that. We've got a lot more fields to plant. So thanks for watching, folks. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. If you know the word that I've forgotten, comment below. Yeah, bit of engagement. Awesome. Catch you next time, everyone.